Oh man, the day we've all been dreading, it's finally come and gone as Jason Kelce announced his retirement today from the National Football League through tear-soaked eyes in a press conference you need to listen to if you love the birds. But with 62 gone, who's going to fill the already massive shoes left by the Hall of Famer? And could another Eagles legend be announcing his retirement soon too? I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Well, if you didn't get to see any of Jason Kelce's retirement press conference today, I should warn you, you gotta grab some tissues because for over 30 minutes, he fought back tears, he reminisced on his career achievements, all in front of his parents, his brother, and some select players and coaches. And when I tell you the tears were flowing, I mean right from the start, you could tell this was gonna be extremely hard for number 62.
Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see how long this lasts.
Now again, this was over 30 minutes long. Can't play the entire thing, but there were a lot of great moments that I've saved for you, including possibly the best part where Kelce was remembering the 2017 Super Bowl win with Nick Foles and Doug Peterson and what they did for the city of Philadelphia.
I won't forget Nick Foles having the game of his life on the biggest stage possible. And the biggest dick on the team going up to Doug Peterson and asking for the Philly special. And Doug Peterson having the biggest balls in the stadium to say, yeah, let's do it.
Now, Kelce would also go on to praise current Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni in what seemed like an emphatic endorsement of the man who is currently at the helm of the Eagles.
I won't forget Nick Sirianni sending me kegs of beer to convince me to keep playing these last few years. He knows the key to my heart. I won't forget making the playoffs in his first season, the Super Bowl in his next, and the immense heartbreak at the collapse of this last season. And although last season truly sucked, I wouldn't trade any of my time with you or those teams for the world. Everything happens for a reason. And I have truly enjoyed my time with you, Coach. Sometimes the flowers get knocked back a bit. But the roots remain.
In the end, though, Kelce finished his press conference with a heartfelt thank you to all of us, the entire city and fan base in Philadelphia.
Thank you, Philadelphia. Thank you, Philadelphia. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for letting me represent this city. I don't know what's next, but I look forward to the new challenges and opportunities that await. And I know that I carry with me the lessons from my time here, and that forever. And that forever we shall all share the bond of being Philadelphians. That's all I got.
Now, of course, there's zero doubt that 5 years from now, Jason Kelce will be a first-ballot Hall of Famer following a career that included, 6 first-team All-Pros, 7 Pro Bowls, the Eagles' franchise record for consecutive starts, and, of course, the Super Bowl victory and the epic costume and parade moment afterwards. All in all, Jason Kelce was a pro's pro, both on the field, but especially off the football field. You never saw him complaining. He was never loud. He was never annoying. He was hardly injured. He was tough, consistent, and was an elite player every single season. Literally nobody embodies Philadelphia more than Jason Kelce himself. Whether he just wants to have one of the most widely successful sports podcasts in the world, or join a broadcast network, or just disappear and enjoy a normal life as a normal husband and a dad, Eagles fans everywhere will always love and appreciate number 62. Kind of like how I'd love and appreciate if the 66% of you guys who watch my show daily but aren't subscribed were to hit that red button down below right now. Now, of course, we can go on and on and on about Kelce and his accomplishments, but football is just like life. Like, it's going to keep moving forward, and the real question is now, how will Philadelphia be able to replace Kelce going forward in 2024? The good news is, though, the front office, they already began this process 2 seasons ago when they thought Kelce was going to retire. They basically let Jason go out in the draft, scout every single center, and he hand-selected Nebraska center Cam Jurgens in 2022.
No, this is my favorite player in the draft. I'm not just saying that because we picked him. The Eagles have been using me to evaluate some of the centers coming out, and of all the guys that I've looked at, like for the past 2-3 years, out of all the guys that compare the most to myself, this guy is him.
And immediately began grooming him to be his replacement going forward. Now, of course, Kelce didn't retire, and Jurgens was then cross-trained to right guard last season, played very, very well, but he will easily slide right over to the center spot in 2024, and the Eagles should be just fine. Likewise, Howie Roseman also took Alabama offensive lineman Tyler Steen early last year. With the help of Jeff Stoutland, converted him to a guard, where he saw limited play, but was pretty successful on the Eagles' offensive line. Pair both Jurgens and Steen with all-pros all over the offensive line at left tackle, right tackle, and of course left guard, and you have an offensive line that's in a very rare situation where they're going to lose a Hall of Famer. They've lost a Hall of Famer now, but they might not miss a step. Now, will I be surprised if Philadelphia still goes out and grabs an interior offensive line at some point during next month's April draft? No, because the Eagles were probably going to do that anyway. But all in all, if Philadelphia wants to sign a cheap free agent or draft somebody, they're going to be just fine going forward. Now, again, it stings to lose Jason Kelce. Trust me. I mean, it's a really sad day for everybody in Philadelphia, but they're going to be just fine on the football field when things kick off next September. Give me a thanks 62 down below in the comment section. While you're at it, let's just show our love to Jason Kelce. Show our love to the Eagles legend. Let's see how many comments we can get down below with a thanks 62. Now, of course, on top of one legendary Eagles trench player retiring, we got word from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler at the Combine this weekend that another is on the way out when he said, quote, talked to multiple sources who believe that defensive tackle Fletcher Cox will probably retire at some point this offseason too. Now, retirements are tricky. Plans are malleable. As players emerge from the emphasis of the season, there's a real possibility the Eagles will be replacing two legends at once. Geez, what a weekend for us Eagle fans with not only your best center, maybe of all time, one of your best defensive tackles, both hanging it up. And honestly, just like Kelce, Cox has been a staple of the Eagles' defensive line for well over a decade now. And honestly, one of my favorite players overall growing up as an Eagles fan to watch. Like during the peak of his powers, he was easily the second best defensive tackle in the entire league, only behind prime Aaron Donald. And he single-handedly terrorized Cowboy quarterbacks, division quarterbacks, and quarterbacks around the league year after year after year. He was named the 2010s All-Decade Team, 6-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, and of course, a Super Bowl champion back in 2017. He always had that swagger, though, that I always respected. Like, he knew he was better than almost everybody he was going to play, yet he was quietly humble, but also loudly emphatic about the fact that he was going to beat you to a pulp. And then despite turning 30 in 2022, 4 years ago, he still amassed over 22 sacks the past 4 seasons and was dominant even this past year when I thought he was going to fall off a cliff. Thankfully, though, just like Jason Kelce, the Eagles front office, mainly Howie Roseman, they have had a plan in place. They've been executing the past 2 seasons in order to make sure that when 91 retires or leaves, they wouldn't see a massive drop-off in production. I mean, for instance, Philadelphia traded up 2022. They took Jordan Davis, and then this past season, they traded up 1 spot to number 9 and took Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter. Now, the latter seems like a future superstar who's in a very similar mold as Fletcher Cox, obviously learning under him at practice as well. Even though it's not a guarantee that Jalen's going to be the best or even better than Fletcher Cox, Philadelphia shouldn't need to panic in the first round and get another defensive tackle because they already have 2 first-rounders at that spot. Although technically if they wanted to, Byron Murphy out of Texas, the best D-tackle in this April's draft, he could be had in the early teens, and so if they felt desperate, there are some options there in April. Now, Jordan Davis, however, must improve. Like, he has not turned into the dominant, massive defensive tackle that we all thought he would when Philadelphia traded up 2 seasons ago. I think his fitness being an issue this past season continues to have me concerned about how committed he is to football. Hopefully, he starts to kind of double down here in year 3, but Philadelphia does have more Roseman and, of course, Milton Williams to help pick up the slack left by Cox if Jordan Davis doesn't come alive this season. It is worth noting, though, that Dolphins defensive tackle Christian Wilkins said a couple days ago that he's obviously going to hit free agency instead of being franchise tagged. He's coming off a 2023 season under Vic Fangio, of course, the current Eagles defensive coordinator, where he amassed 9 sacks and absolutely burst onto the scene as one of the top interior defensive linemen with, of course, Fangio's tutelage in his ear. Now, again, I would expect Philadelphia to go defensive tackle in the draft if they want to go ahead and do that. Don't think that they need to. But if you wanted to spend a lot of your free agent money on a defensive tackle, Christian Wilkins would be the likely pick for Philadelphia. And, of course, as we know now, with the release of Kevin Byard over the weekend, Philadelphia now has, $40+ million in their free agency war chest? And so anything is possible. Safe to say, though, defense, it's going to be a top priority in the coming weeks. Now, I'm back from vacation, but we had the NFL Combine over the weekend. There's a lot of rumors coming out about trades, about free agent signings, and some draft picks Philadelphia really likes. More on that in the coming days here. We're back in full force on this channel. Keep me up to date on everything happening with the Eagles, whether it's a sad day for retirement or an exciting day for a future trade. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been The Thomas Mott Show.